They say a rooster crowing is God's wake-up call. At least, that's what it was for me. See, everything about that night was a blur. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. None of us could. See, we were all in the upper room. Jesus was washing our feet. Then we were in the garden. Jesus goes alone to pray. I admit, I fell asleep. I had a big meal, and, well, bread makes me sleepy. Next thing we know, me, James, and John, Jesus was in our faces, trying to wake us up, trying to tell us something about the flesh being weak, but the spirit willing. I don't know. Before we knew it, Judas was already kissing Jesus on the cheek, and I tried to help. I did. I even cut out a guard's ear. And for the record, I wasn't aiming for his ear. I'm a fisherman, not a swordsman. But they took Jesus away and they arrested him. And well, we ran. And it wasn't even but 2 hours. 2 hours before that we were all in the upper room, and I was staring at him. I was staring Jesus right in the eye, telling him that if everyone disowned him, that if everyone abandoned him, I wouldn't. I told him that I would die for him, that I would be there with him until the very end, because that's how much I loved him. And I think that's what made me stop, turn around, and go back. And as I stared, I caught a glimpse of Jesus as they were taking him to the high priest's house in chains, surrounded by guards. And as I stared at the gate, this small girl comes up to me. She goes, "You look familiar. Yeah, I've seen you before. You're with that man who's claiming to be the Son of God. Yeah, you're one of his disciples, aren't you?" At this point, I was shocked. I didn't know how to react to this. I panicked. So I told her, "I'm sorry, but you must have me mistaken for someone else, because I've never seen that man before in my life. I don't know him." So I made my way to the courtyard, and the night was getting cold. So I warmed myself by the fire. And across from me, there's this man who starts recognizing me from the ear incident earlier in the garden. And as he recognized me, he stands up and starts shouting, "Get him! Get this man! He's one of the disciples of Jesus. Arrest him!" I was taken aback again. And again I panicked. I told him, "You must have me mistaken for someone else, because I don't know who this man is. I have never seen him before in my life. You got the wrong guy." And a few hours passed. Before sunrise, this wise guy comes up to me and starts telling me, "Who are you fooling? Who are you trying to kid? Are you trying to fool us? Everyone knows here. Everyone knows that you're with Jesus. We can tell by your accent. Who are you trying to fool?" At this point, I got so mad. I was so tired of everyone pointing their fingers at me, accusing me. I felt like every eye was on me. So I went up to that guy and I told him, "Get away from me. You don't know who I am. This is just the way that I speak. That doesn't mean that I know that man who you're claiming to be, I'm associated with. I don't know him. I've never seen this Jesus guy before." And as I said those words, I turned my head and I saw Jesus. They were beating him, pushing him on the ground, spitting on him, throwing insult after insult. I was shocked to know what I've done, to see what they've been doing to him. At that moment, when I heard that rooster crow, Jesus turns his gaze to me. He turns his gaze to me. And that look in his eyes, it's almost as if he knew. It's almost as if he knew what I had done. And I stood there, looking at him, weeping, because I knew what I did. You can't escape that gaze. You can't escape that look in his eyes. When he looks into your eyes, he looks into your soul. I felt nothing but shame. So they took Jesus away. They took him away, and I stood there helplessly, doing nothing. What would you have done? At that point, at that time, what would you have done? I was scared, and I did nothing. I would die for you, Jesus, till the very end. What a joke. What a joke. Because when they took him away, you know what they did to him? Do you know what they did to him? They killed him. He's hanging on the cross right now, and he's dead. The man who loved me, he's dead.